estate market and what is the future? Let's find out. 93 WIBC. It's Kendall and Casey Show. I'm Rob Casey's here. Let's go to the drivehubler.com hotline. We talked to one of the best in the business, the great Mark Dietel. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. Rob and Casey, how are you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing great. Full disclosure, obviously everybody knows you advertise on this show, but we have you on because you're one of the best in the business. Tell us the condition of the real estate market right now. We had you on a couple months ago. It seemed like you said, hey, not much change despite interest rates going up. How are we doing out there?
Okay, your timing is impeccable because it's May 2nd, and we just had the April 2023 numbers came out, and I happened to be looking at it, and here's a really, really interesting number. There's only been 2 times in the last 8 years where the actual new listings, active inventory, has gone down from March to April in the same year. Number one was 2020, and we all know what was happening in March of 2020. We were shutting down the economy at a national level, and the only other time is right now.
Wow.
The actual new listings have gone down. So what does that mean really quick? It means we are in an inventory shortage time, and we're really getting back to multiple offers again.
Okay, so people aren't selling their houses. They're not moving. So what does that do? That means prices are going up.
Yes, that's exactly right. And if you remember, I've talked in the past about something called absorption rate, and that's the number of months of inventory that's on hand, that if there wasn't any other homes that came on the market, we would be at zero inventory. So way back in 2008 or 9, it was like 8 to 9 months. During the really, really tough time, the last few years when we had a really severe shortage, we were at 0.6, which is, 0.5 to 0.6, about a half a month. In January of 2023 this year, we are at 2.7. So we were seeing that absorption rate going up. For April, just now that we finished, the entire Indianapolis market is at 1.1.
Wow.
So it's going back down. A level market is 4 months of inventory, just so the audience knows.
Mark Dietel, our guest, talking about real estate in central Indiana. So usually, when you raise the interest rates, money's more expensive. People can't pay as much for the home because the payment's going to be higher. It appears, is that having any impact?
Well, there's no question it did in 2022 and going at the end of 2022 and coming into 2023. But what's happened is interest rates have actually just ticked back a little bit from the highs. And you know how we are kind of as just people, those shocks kind of go away. You kind of forget a little bit. So you start looking at what monthly payment I can afford. So we still have a pretty decent demand that's built up in the market. And on a normal seasonal market, now's the time when those buyers start coming back into the market coming off a holiday. But the challenge is the resale inventory. People, unless they have a pretty serious life event, people aren't as willing to walk away from mortgages that they have probably at 3.5, 4, and they're just not going to move as easily as they did before because they're walking away from a really low interest rate. So that's slowing the amount of inventory, the amount of homes that are coming onto the market.
Yeah, well, that's because they know that they're going to have to, if they, refinance or buy a new home, the interest rate's going to be higher and the home price is going to be higher as well.
You're exactly right.
All right, Mark Dietel, our guest. We're talking about real estate in central Indiana. So let's talk about these assessments, because obviously the assessments are based on what people sell their homes for. People are getting these sticker shocks. They got them last year. They're again this year. These massive assessment increases and the property taxes that come along with them. Are you worried about that at all? Because a lot of people are saying, man, I'm going to have trouble making the mortgage payments.
Well, that's something we need to watch, but really still, we're in a time period where foreclosures are still incredibly low. And when I say foreclosures, people are in financial stress situations, so they're having a hard time, obviously, making their payment, and then they're obviously having a hard time with their property taxes. So, that's something we have to watch. Unfortunately, you can't have the good without the bad, and when you have values going up and you can sell your home and you're getting a lot of appreciation, well, the consequences of that is it's going to have a higher assessed value because they're trying to match that more with the fair market value, and then hence your property taxes go up. So it is a little bit of just a byproduct of the success that people have when their homes appreciate in value.
What sort of buyer are you seeing the most of? Are you seeing families? Are you seeing retired people? What is the demographic that you're engaging with?
we are seeing right now, and I've talked about, we have 8 buyer agents. We have a lot of first-time kind of new buyers. They're, those kind of Gen Zers. I mean, that age group that's kind of the first-time home buyer. And a really big question right now is down payment assistance. We actually had a conversation with our lender about, hey, how can we make sure we're communicating with our buyers who need some down payment assistance and what products are out there that can help them get into a home.
Well, that's really interesting. They want to get in the market. However, they don't have the down payment to do it, but they feel they can swing the monthly payment.
Yeah, they might have a great debt-to-income ratio on a month-to-month basis, but they're just short on cash, so they just need that extra, boost, that extra help to get into that home. And plus, when they're looking at their just month-to-month, home ownership or life type of expenses, rent's expensive, and they're not getting very far ahead by renting, and rents. At least in our market, really haven't started coming down at all.
So they could just get the equity in a house then. Mark Dietel joins us on the phone. Okay, so in regards to these Gen Zers or their first-time home buyers, typically people want to go with location and budget. Those are the two big things. And then you start ticking down the list of, well, I'd like 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, or a finished basement, or whatever is on the want list. Are you getting a lot of questions about school district?
Yes, but not so much so because of the inventory being as low as they are, they're really looking for that move-in ready home. These types of buyers aren't really looking for homes that they can spend a lot of energy, and obviously since they need down payment or they're looking for assistance there, they don't have a lot of cash to go in and kind of fix up a home. So obviously school districts are important, but that doesn't seem to be as important as maybe as I remember even 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
Mark, when people call you and they say, hey, I'm on the fence, I don't know, should I sell, should I not sell? And obviously everybody should call you because you support this fabulous show. What do you kind of walk people through? What's kind of the high-level conversation like?
Well, number one, we always tell all of our clients, buy or sell. It's always a very personal decision. So we want to get an idea. I mean, if somebody's not financially ready to make that purchase, we need to find that out and have that discussion really quick on the buy side. So what's their emotional, what's their desire? In other words, people act based on emotion. So what's their big why on buying a house? And conversely, on the sales side of it, oftentimes it's just life events. So people that are on the fence right now as far as selling a home, they're being much more cautious. And again, we don't have that inventory coming into the market like we've had in that past, so they're being more cautious. But when people unfortunately have, a death situation, divorce, whatever the situation might be where they just have to sell, then we schedule a listing appointment, we get in there, we talk to them about their why, and oftentimes they just want to, maximize those net proceeds and move on down the road.
Hey, he's one of the best in the business, the great Mark Dietel. People want to learn more about you. How can they do that, Mark?
They can call me anytime. My personal cell is 317-441-7887, or they can certainly get on our website, markdietel.com. All of our agents' contact information is on there, and my email address is on there as well.
Mark, man, we love you. We appreciate you keeping us up to date on what's going on in the central Indiana real estate market.
Thank you very much. It's interesting, and call me anytime. Be happy to help.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.